One mistake is all that it takes for your investment to turn into a money-draining liability that burns holes in your pockets. It doesn't matter if you're the best in the world. There are some things that you simply cannot do if you want to see success when flipping real estate. One of the most common mistakes that new home flippers make is trying to handle all of the renovation work by themselves. Yes, it might save you a lot of money on labor, but it's also a surefire way to be overwhelmed and stressed out that only gets you subpar results. It's nice to daydream about how much money you could save because all you will be paying for is materials. But you have to keep in mind that it's your team that makes your investments profitable, not cutting corners. So if you want results with a fast turnaround that look like they were done by an expert, then hire an expert. But in order to really make a profit, you have to know the range of the after repair value of a property before you buy it, not after you buy it. And you can't just speculate it either. You have to make an informed estimate based on specific factors in a home. It's also important to research the housing market in the area before you start renovating, so you know what is trending and what a reasonable price is. This is usually done by comparing the property to similar properties nearby, and will keep you from investing too much into renovations that yield undesirable return. You can really mitigate your risk by investing in properties that are in a good location. This is something that everyone who is interested in real estate knows, and it's the only thing that everybody can agree on. You could be selling $1 billion mega mansion, but there's no basic amenities nearby, such as grocery stores and schools, and you're going to have a hard time selling it. And just because something is selling for a low price doesn't mean it's a good deal. In fact, it might just mean that they're having so much trouble selling that they had no choice but to lower the price. So don't pay attention to the price as much as the proximity to amenities, neighborhood desirability, and the overall potential for property appreciation. You can always figure something out in a good location, but a bad location is a guaranteed way to stop you from selling quickly and for a profit. Of course, there is the occasional rule breaker, such as Donald Brand, whom we talked about in another video on my channel, and explain how he made billions of dollars from flipping real estate. But for now, let's just stay focused on mistakes that you can avoid if you keep watching. Now, most new home flippers have trouble gauging how much time, money, and energy that they should allocate to renovation. Frankly, some people only set aside a small budget for renovations because they plan on cutting corners. I know this can be really tempting, but taking shortcuts on important aspects of your property, such as plumbing, electrical, or structural repairs, leaves you open to a lot of risk. And you'll probably end up spending more time than you would have if you had just hired an expert in the first place. With that being said, you don't want to swing too far in the other direction and over-renovate the property either. If you're making improvements beyond what the market demands, you end up supplying something the market isn't asking for. And because the market isn't asking for it, it's eating away at your budget without giving you a return on investment. So I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Make sure that you do research on what the market wants. If you really want to make a profit, then only focus on what is in demand. By the way, make sure you share this video with someone to help them avoid making these mistakes. The more people that follow, the more I can help other people completely for free. When it comes to renovations, you have to make sure that you're accurately estimating the amount of time it's going to take to complete them. Yes, you might have a quick turnaround plan, but that quick turnaround is assuming that everything will go perfectly. And guess what? It probably won't. So if you know that something unexpected will come up, then it's probably wise to account for that in your planning and avoid relying too heavily on what you hope will happen. Remember, flipping properties takes time, and sometimes you have no control over the situation. Did you know that you can't replace a roof when it's raining? Did you know that you can't pour concrete either? And when the soil is soft, you can't put up a fence. Weather is one where it's outside of your control. Supply chain issue can also put a delay on material arrival. So factor those in because surprises do happen. There's also a lot of hidden costs that you have to factor in when buying a home. Most people consider these things like realtor fees, renovation expenses, but they completely overlook the costs associated with financing the property. You have to account for loan point, loan interest, closing costs, transfer taxes, title fees, and any other financial charges so that you know exactly how much you're going to pay for your overall investment. And by doing so, you remove any risk of unexpected fees from popping up and throwing off your budget, meaning you can continue working without worry. Lastly, the best thing to keep in mind is that good deals shouldn't require you to skimp out on anything or cut corners. If a deal is truly going to lead you to a profitable flip, then it should cover all costs. Meaning if you find yourself manipulating costs or cutting corners just to make the numbers work, it's probably not a good deal. This is when patience comes in handy. If you can hold off on barely buying a deal, then you'll be able to spend that money on a property that's going to bring you a ton of profit because you didn't have to cut any corners. So don't spend money you don't have. By the way, the more people that follow, the more feedback that I can get, and the more I can communicate with my followers to help give them the information that they need to make their next flip profitable. So I will highly appreciate it if you share this video with someone who flips homes or is interested in flipping homes so we can help as many people as possible to become financially free without spending a fortune on education.